It is Monday, May 17th, 2021. This is the Selectmen's meeting of Acushnet. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, good evening, everyone. First thing on the agenda this evening is reorganization of the Board of Selectmen. Do I have a motion to select the chairman for fiscal year 2022?
Mr. DeRoche, it's with great pleasure. I've had an opportunity to work with you for the last year. It's an honor to make a motion to appoint you as chairman.
And I'll second that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And Mr. Warner, mutual, had pleasure working with you also this year and look forward to the upcoming year.
Great. Mr. Chairman, just one point of personal privilege to extend the congratulations to our colleague, Mr. Gasper, for his election victory, and look forward to working with him as well.
That's correct. It was a very close one this year. Very close. And I've heard that the votes have been certified, so it is official. Okay, I'm going to go a little bit out of order here tonight because we got some time before our continuation on a Class 3 hearing for Repweld. We're going to bring up some old business and Lake Street improvement updates. And Mr. Warner, that's, I think you can take it away.
Great, thanks, Mr. Chairman. As you know, the Lake Street Committee is moving forward. We're in a position now to look to remediate the water quality there. The Lake Street Committee has interviewed and done solicitation of multiple bids and voted to award the contract to Solitude, pending the appropriate procurement activity. And so we'll need the Board of Selectmen's approval, but all of this will be contingent upon a reintroduced MOU with the City of New Bedford. What we have discovered is the fact that actually New Bedford, obviously we've always known that the city has owned ownership of the body of water, but we also just discovered that they retain ownership of the parking lots in some of the surrounding area there. That said, Julie and Dan Menard have been in contact with the City of New Bedford, and they have asked that so long as the proper paperwork be filed and the appropriate MOU be submitted to them, that they would approve it, and then we could commence work with a longer-term goal of them relinquishing ownership and turning that over to the Board of Selectmen with some type of purchase that would require town meeting approval. So we thought it was in our best interest to have our ducks in a row, get our approvals in place, obviously contingent upon New Bedford, and then we can start the work there on the land that the city owns, but also in the interim start working with the safety improvements on Lake Street itself with the guardrails.
Well, Mr. Warner, I agree, and it's very good to hear the progress that's being made by the Lake Street Committee, and I want to thank them for their volunteerism and service and trying to create something and improve a town asset that we do have. Bring people in and make it a place for families, and the fishing there is, from what I hear, very good. A lot of bass in that lake, and I can't agree with you more in the way that it's all heading up. Is there any kind of estimated schedule concerned for this?
So again, pending New Bedford's approval, but Solitude has indicated that they would restart the permitting process, and obviously we have some farmers in the area we'd have to work with, but they wouldn't look to be doing any of the treatments until like June, July, is what they have told us. So I think we're right on schedule if we're able to approve that contract today and get that moving.
Very good. Very good. Well, thank you very much.
I'll make a motion to approve the contract, to award the contract to Solitude, pending the appropriate approvals. And that was for $32,000, which will be paid for by CPC.
And I'll second that motion. And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
Great, thank you.
Okay, let's see what we can move around here.
Oh, Julie, do we need a motion to approve the MOU that we want to send over to Bedford? I guess so, right? So
Yeah, you
motion to
can,
approve
and again, just, I'm just
MOU.
waiting for, the final comments from town council, but I don't anticipate it changing the language very much.
Right.
Yep.
Okay, motion to approve the MOU as presented to New Bedford.
So moved.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
MOU motion passes.
Great.
Okay, well, we're gonna move right along here. We're gonna go out of order again on the next, new business. And we have treasurer approvals. First one we have is bond documentation. And we have Kathy Doan here. I don't know if, you have any comments or if you were here to answer questions tonight, if we
No,
have
I
any.
was just here to sign. Have you guys all signed?
No, we
Yeah.
have the document, no, they haven't signed it.
Okay.
I don't
Okay.
think, right?
I am, yeah.
And that's on the bond, right?
That's on the
This
bond.
is-
This is concerning the new roof for the
Yeah.
school. for the-
Yeah.
Mhm.
I came more for the OPEB, because
Oh.
that I have to sign tonight.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
very good.
But yeah, so this is kind of just the formality documentation for, the borrowing for MSBA that was approved at town meeting in the fall. And it's something that the selectmen have to sign. We've already had the clerk, sign and certify all of the town meeting vote, and there's just a page that the selectmen have to sign as well. And then we'll
Okay.
be ready to borrow.
Okay, now this has to be read, correct?
Yes, let's see.
Yes, it's a long document.
It's a long
Yeah.
document. And if it's, Dave, I might have to pass this off to you because it is, we've reorganized. I mean, I can read it as chairman if that's
Yeah.
okay, but it is the clerk of the Board of Selectmen, so I don't know if that's gonna make any difference, but I'll go ahead and read this. I, the clerk of the Board of Selectmen of the town of Acushnet, Massachusetts, certify that at a meeting of the board held May 17th, 2021, of which meeting all members of the board were duly notified and at which a quorum was present, the following votes were unanimously passed, all of which appear upon the official record of the board in my custody. Number one, voted that we hereby determine in accordance with General Law 70B that the amount of the cost of the elementary school roof project authorized by a vote of the town passed on November 14th, 2020, Article 1, not being paid by the school facilities grant is $1,175,269. And we hereby approve the issuance of notes and bonds in such amount under said General Law 70B. Further voted to approve the sale of $2,570,759, 1% general obligation bond anticipation notes of the town dated May 27, 2021, and payable May 27, 2022 to Oppenheimer and Company, Inc., at par and accrued interest, if any, plus a premium of $18,712. Further voted that in connection with the marketing and sale of the notes, the preparation and distribution of a notice of sale and preliminary official statement dated April 29th, 2021, and a final official statement dated May 6, 2021, each in such form as may be approved by the town treasurer, be and hereby are ratified, confirmed, approved, and adopted. Further voted that the town treasurer and the Board of Selectmen be and hereby are authorized to execute and deliver a significant events disclosure undertaking in compliance with SEC Rule 15C2-12 in such form as may be approved by bond counsel to the town, which undertaking shall be incorporated by reference in the notes for the benefit of the holders of the notes from time to time. Further voted that we authorize and direct the town treasurer to establish post-insurance federal tax compliance procedures and continuing disclosure procedures in such forms as the town treasurer and bond counsel deems sufficient, or in such procedures are currently in place, to review and update said procedures in order to monitor and maintain the tax exempt status of the notes and to comply with relevant securities laws. Further voted, that each member of the Board of Selectmen, the town clerk, and the town treasurer be and hereby are authorized to take any and all such actions and execute and deliver such certificates, receipts, or other documents as may be determined by them or any of them to be necessary or convenient to carry into effect the provisions of the foregoing votes. I further certify that the votes were taken at a meeting open to the public, that no vote was taken by secret ballot, that a notice stating the place, date, time, and agenda for the meeting, which agenda included the adoption of the above votes, was filed with the town clerk, and a copy thereof posted in a manner conspicuously visible to the public at all hours in or on the municipal building that the office of the town clerk is located, or if applicable, in accordance with an alternative method of notice prescribed or approved by the Attorney General as set forth in 940 CMR 29.03 2B, at least 48 hours, not including Saturdays, Sundays, and legal holidays, prior to the time of the meeting, and remain so posted at the time of the meeting that no deliberations or discussions in connection with the sale of the notes were taken in executive session, all in accordance with General Law C-30A, subsection 1825 through 25, as amended, further suspended, supplemented, or modified by the executive order of the Governor of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts suspending certain provisions of the Open Meeting Law, Chapter 30A, subsection 20, dated March 12th, 2020. That's it. There you go. That was a tongue twister. So we need to vote on this also?
Yeah.
I have a motion to, to approve the bond document as presented.
So moved.
And I'll second that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Okay, second we have OPEB documentation. And I believe, you can correct me if I'm wrong, this is to transfer the monies that we've collected for the OPEB fund
To the state.
to the
To
state
the
trust
state,
fund?
Yes, yep.
And the amount, the total amount is
Right now, we have about 416,000.
$416,000?
Yeah, and this is gonna take at least 90 days. There's a 90-day waiting period from the time you adopt it. And it come July, we put another 100,000 in there per town vote, per
Mhm.
town meeting. So we'll be at 516,000 in the state pension fund.
And for all the people out there who don't know what OPEB is, it means other post-employment benefits. The town pays 60% of health insurance benefits for its retirees. And this fund is woefully underfunded, as it is in pretty much every city and town in the state of Massachusetts. So we're making an effort to reach a goal. It's a lofty goal right now, but if we keep contributing a certain amount of money, $100,000, $150,000 a year, we'll inch up there closer and closer every year.
Correct.
And we'll be in better financial situation if we have this OPEB fund funded.
Correct, yep.
Okay, so do I have a motion to accept the OPEB document approval to transfer to the state fund as presented?
So moved.
I'll second that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Well, thank you very much,
All right, thank
Kathy.
you.
And we'll get you those signatures as
Yep.
soon as we can.
Yep.
All right. Very good. We're gonna move on. It's 4:15, so we can go back to our appointments. We have a continuation on the hearing of the Class 3 license renewal request for property located at 734 Main Street. Repwell Corp. And I make a motion to open the public hearing that we continued last meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so we've opened the public comment period for this issue, and I see that there's no one here who, I think, no neighbors, no person with an opinion on what's going on there, or comments. So I will make a motion to close the public hearing session
Public comment?
of public comment.
So moved.
And I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
And I am one also. Yes. So, okay. Well, that leaves us to open up the discussion, Dave, or Ms. Selectman Wona, if you're interested in talking about it and what we're going to do about the Class 3 license. I can say, I don't know if you want to go first, or...
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think, we've all been presented with documentation from Mr. Merritt. And I think maybe a status update on that for the record. As indicated in the last meeting, it just seemed to me that, given the town's history there, with its, sort of loosey-goosey record keeping, but it was clear that for many, many years, a Class 3 license was issued there. So I think I'd like to hear more from Mr. Merritt, but clearly what was done prior and now with neighbors, perhaps some, not compromise, but something could be done to at least recognize the fact that it is now a residential neighborhood, and some, reasonable accommodations or restrictions should be put in place, I think, if we were to go in the direction of the letter that Mr. Merritt provided for us.
Yes, one piece of evidence that has come up in our search to find out if there was a pre-existing non-conforming lot was a letter that we did find from Building Inspector Amos Souza, dated March 7th, 1991. And in that letter, he agrees. He agrees that this piece of property has been a business since December 8th, 1959, and he considers it, and he writes in this letter about that it is a pre-existing non-conforming lot. And that's a piece of evidence that I was looking for in the first meeting that we had, because that would determine if they needed a variance for the property. And we couldn't find any evidence of the variance. In that first meeting, we found the Class 2 variance that they needed. But where I think Mr. Souza is trying to relate it is that it was an existing building that was an actually it was a truck repair maintenance building for the concrete company that was on that property before Repwell. And that being the case, it's his opinion that because it was a business before, it just kept going on, and it became, as we changed the bylaws, it became a pre-existing non-conforming lot. Now, the building commissioner is here tonight to expand upon that and will tell me if, that's it in the general area. So, Mr. Merritt, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I don't know if I have any particular information to add to what we already know. However, I was asked to go out, meet with the petitioner, review the circumstance that they have out there, and measure it to see exactly where the spaces were. So I went out with a rolling measuring wheel, which Mr. Menard was kind enough to let me borrow, and actually measured out a space and put it onto a plan. I think you may have the plan in front of you. But my recommendations, from what I see out there, is that rather than the 600, which was originally approved, that the distance of 500 feet off the street be approved by the selectmen, with a reduction in the size of the area from 300 by 300 to 300 by 250. This is an agreement with the applicant and the reason I'm suggesting that is that our bylaws currently require that there be a 50-foot setback from side properties for any use other than residential. And where this is in the residential zone, the width of the property currently at its narrowest point is 265 feet. So we couldn't really maintain that distance, 365 feet.
Okay.
So we couldn't maintain that distance of 50 feet from either side property line and hold the 300 by 300. So the applicant is in agreement to reducing that to 250 in width to 300 feet deep, 500 feet off the street. I took a look at the zoning bylaws, which we've adopted long years ago as far as what we require for parking spaces, which is 9 feet in width and 18 feet in length. And when I calculated out the area, which is about 75,000 square feet, by establishing 30-foot aisles with a 27-foot aisle in between, you can actually park 208 vehicles in that space. But he's agreeable to looking at only 120 vehicles, given the fact that there is an area in the middle of that space which is crushed concrete, which has been there ever since Campanelli and Cardi owned the property. So we thought there would still be enough space for him to use both licenses for up to 120 vehicles that he'd like to have.
So these two licenses will be overlapping in the area,
Correct.
and it encompasses 250 by 300, so it is a slight reduction.
It's a slight reduction and it moves it forward. It moves it further away from the wetlands, moves it further away from the abutting property, and actually puts, you know, a larger area on the paved surface, which really is advantageous for this type of business.
Very good, very good. Okay, well, that all sounds good. I appreciate you going out there and answering those questions for us today.
Are there any other questions?
Any questions, Dave? Or
No,
Mr.
Mr. Chairman, so those modifications or restrictions will be added to the license? Is that, if we were to approve that, is that what I think that needs to be memorialized, if that's the direction that we want to go?
That is correct. Those things we just talked about would be added as conditions to the license. And
And also I would ask, I don't know if it's needs to be added to the license, but I would ask that Mr. Merritt quarterly do an inspection, just to make sure that we are, with this situation continues to, I'm sure it will, but just to make sure there's some additional oversight till we get a handle on what's going on there. I just want to say for the record, if this was a new application, I don't know how I would feel about it, quite frankly, if we were starting from scratch. But the fact, just given the past history, given the fact that the board issued this license for close to 30 years, I feel incumbent that we've got to do what's right by the petitioner, the property owner, but also the residents. I believe at our last meeting we talked about some arborvitae, some plantings, right, to create some type of natural buffer. Does that need to be added to the license as well?
well, I think my understanding is the owner is already made an agreement with the property owner next door. So I don't know if I want, that's good enough for me. I don't know if I want, me having to inspect that he did it. I think that's between the owner and the property owner, but it is a point that needs to be followed through with and not, and kept at a good schedule. I see the people from Wetwalder here. Does anyone like to get first? Actually, Mr. Merritt, is there anything else that?
No, that's, unless there's any other questions by the board that I can answer.
Well, no. I think at this time I'm all set. Mr. Warner.
That's it. If that, Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to
Well,
approve with the modifications detailed by the building inspector.
Well, at this time, is it proper to second and then have discussion? Because I also have some more comments that I'd like to bring up.
Okay, yeah, I guess that's probably Robert's rules I'll make that
Okay,
motion with
so
a
I'll,
second.
I'll second that, and discussion. The representatives from Repwell are here, they came in, I don't know if you have, give them the opportunity to make any comments you'd like to have, or you do. And it's Attorney Williams, correct? It is. Right.
It is John Williams,
Okay.
represent Repwell. Obviously, they had a meeting, which was good, and it kind of clarified a lot of the points. I'm not completely sure exactly what the conditions are going to be, but
That's what I'd like to explain to you, that,
Okay.
had a meeting and, came up. Two of the conditions were Mr. Merritt explored, was, the size of the, area that the cars would be stored on. And we've come to an agreement that it's, both licenses would be overlapping, comprising an area 250 by 300 feet, which conforms and fits to the lot. And as Mr. Merritt mentioned, it gives some side buffer zones on the side. And your client can still operate the business.
great.
Also, another thing that we're gonna do is, another condition on that is reduce the number of cars from 100 to 70, which I believe was agreed to at the meeting, because Mr. Merritt did say that there'd be a total of 120 cars. So Repwell has a license for 50 used cars, and at this time, we're gonna put a condition on of 70 cars. And also, another condition on it is the NEPTES, or the stormwater management plan, that needs to be handled by the company. This is something that's coming from the state now, and the town's looking at it, and all Class 3 licenses are gonna get notification about this stormwater management plan that they're gonna have to present, especially in the case with outdoor storage of vehicles. We're concerned just that everything's in place and everybody's compliant. And keeping a clean shop, that's part of the stormwater plan. They talk about business management practices and all the things that are required from the EPA and the Mass DEP concerning auto salvage yards. So, I believe a copy was given to your clients. I don't know if you had a copy or we'll proceed with one, because you'll also be receiving a letter from the Board of Selectmen and from, the licensing authority to, with all the things on it. Let's see what we have. We also have the condition that the issues with the building commissioner that existed before the sale of the property be addressed. We have a couple of letters, talks about this drainage. We'll send a copy of that letter too, and so you can understand completely what we're looking for, and there's no misunderstanding. Another condition that's gonna be is that it's non-transferable. Now, in this place, you're a corporation, you change stockholders, Repwell would be Repwell, I understand that. But outside, concerning other Class 3 licenses in town, and one already does have a non-transferable condition attached to it, we're gonna be going that route too, that these licenses are not transferable between people. And the last one is, and we discussed this at the meeting, no storage for profit. The previous owner, they're very liberal, even on an advertisement we have, it says seasonal storage for Jeeps, for all kinds of things, for anything you'd want to store there. So that was a consideration that we had and a concern. So if all these conditions are acceptable to the corporation, then I don't see any reason to not issue the license. Let me just ask one question. Have I missed anything?
I know, you've got everything I have.
Okay.
No, that seems reasonable, and it's actually items that my client wanted to do, or was agreeable to do, so.
Okay,
I
because
think it was very productive having that meeting and having everyone out there and just looking at, existing site conditions and what's best for the area and for the abutters.
it's exactly, I couldn't agree more. We're trying to create a balance. I think the select board in issuing these licenses is trying to create a balance between a business that's been there for a long, long time, and it got changed, and the whole pot got stirred, and things started getting looked into, and but it's a balance between the residents who live in the neighborhood and the business that exists there. And I believe they can coexist, and the matter of its pre-existing non-conforming lot, I feel has been satisfied, so I have no issue proceeding ahead. So I believe we've seconded this motion, had a discussion. Mr. Warner, all in favor?
Aye.
And I'm an aye. Perfect. License passes. We'll be receiving information.
Yeah, we'll make sure we type up the updated conditions onto the license, and we'll get it ready for you guys to sign.
Okay?
And then you guys should get it as soon as we get the signatures,
And
so it should be quick.
you gonna send the package for the EPA and that sort of stuff?
Yep, we can
and
send you all that info
stormwater and
too.
that? Okay.
Yeah, we'll send you all the information that
Okay.
we have. And we're
Sounds
looking
good.
for. We're looking for. Well, very good.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Perfect.
Okay.
Thanks,
Thank you
David.
very much.
Thanks so much.
All right. Awesome, have a good night.
You too.
Okay.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Okay. Are we expecting Pat Hannon tonight?
Yeah, I think he's on the Zoom.
Hello, Pat.
Good evening.
How are you today?
I'm very good, and you?
Doing well, thank you. So, we have Compact Connector grant. What can you tell us about it?
So there's a community planning grant available
Can everybody
that
hear?
is between $25,000 and $75,000. And the guidelines include a couple of things that the town of Acushnet could use. One of them is for master planning, for a development of a master plan. Housing production, zoning review and update. And I was at town meeting, I heard a lot of discussion about zoning reviews and updates, so, maybe you could put the baby on the grant. And, the submissions are due by, either the middle of June or the end of June. I'd have to dig that up. It's very easy, we already qualified for it, we don't need to have any plans prepared or any of those things like you need for infrastructure grants. We just simply need to send in a letter of interest and then complete the application.
Okay, so what would be the next step to proceed with this?
I would get together with Julie and, get the letter of interest out and then, get the application in right behind it.
Mr. Warner, any comments?
I think it's a great idea. Thank you, Pat, for bringing that forward.
Well, very good. Do we need a motion on this one?
My pleasure.
No, I think it was just helpful for you guys to hear what we're looking to apply for and make sure, if there were any comments that you had, we could include them in our letter of interest.
Okay. Well, I'm satisfied with that explanation, and I think we should proceed ahead. I mean, any kind of grant money we can get is a benefit to the town, I believe.
As long as there's no matching funds, yes.
Yeah.
Got 25 in the can with, from town meeting, so.
There you go. And that's all I have.
Thank
Very,
you, Jen.
very good, Pat. Thank you very much for your time.
Okay, thank you, have a good night.
Okay, next on the agenda is approval of recurring entertainment license for the VFW. And we received the application for the VFW to have outdoor music every Monday night between the dates of May 10th through Monday, September 27th, weather permitting. And this application is going to be for the hours of 4 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. And it's pretty self-explanatory. I know they had one last week.
Yes.
They've been having them now on Monday, and there were no issues. Police, fire, nothing, no neighbors. Well, that's great news. That's great news. So, I guess we have a motion to accept the application for live outdoor music at the VFW every Monday night from 4 to 7:30 p.m.
No moved.
And I'll second that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Okay. All right, next on the agenda, we have a vacation carry forward request from non-union personnel. And this is just for 2 employees, town accountant, and executive secretary for the Board of Selectmen. Does anyone have any comment concerning this? I spoke with the executive secretary, and we would be rolling over 4 additional days, I believe,
Yep.
for her vacation that she hasn't used up.
Yep. And for the town accountant, it would essentially be an extra week as well. Both were offices that had shortages in personnel during the year, and that was why vacation time wasn't able to be used during the year.
Well, I have no objection to that, so I make a motion to roll over the vacation time requested by the town accountant and the executive secretary for the Board of Selectmen.
So moved.
I'll second that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion
Thank you.
passes. Okay, next on the agenda, we have the vacation carry forward request by the DPW union for its employees. Any comments, Mr.? On this one, I have a difference of opinion from what I just voted on the last request. I believe the period of time that the employees have left, the ones that do have time left, have the opportunity to take that time during this period. I'm not gonna call it a downtime, Mr. Manad. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Brain freeze there. Mr. Manad, but there's less projects going on right now. I know the talking about Lake Street and that sort of thing, but the money's been depleted. I would rather see the employees not take time off during a busy period where we're working on a larger project. The number of employees, I believe, were 4, Julie, or you could tell me exactly. There was a couple with a week.
There were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that had a week, and then some had a couple days.
Well, Dan, you're sitting there. You got an opinion on this?
Yeah,
You're the
do, yeah.
DPW director,
So I'll
okay?
just say that, I mean, the projects we do have right now, because we are depleted, but we're not, because we do have chapter 90 funds that we had approved to finish Myrtle, Homestead, Conduit, which is paving work. I need a bunch of guys to do that type of work. So this is just gonna prolong that, and there's not enough time in the year to do all the stuff. Now, last year I was underfunded, now I get the funds, and I ain't gonna have the time to finish every project. So if you don't do that with them guys, then I kinda, you know what I mean, they can burn it up, but I ain't gonna have enough group, you know, it's only another month to go. So if these guys that take it, and then a couple of these guys that are doing them, I mean guys that I need for this type of work.
Right, so we still have
so
some
that kind of
paving we're
fun-
gonna do
Correct.
this
So I
summer?
got, no, right now, I wanna do it now before this budget, because that's chapter 90 funds, it's not coming out of my budget, that's chapter 90 funded. So Myrtle, Homestead, Conduit, that's where I was gonna work on. Actually, I'm already starting to bring material to the yard, so we can start between this week and next week, I wanted to start them projects. So, if you take that, you know, from my guys that were there, where they're gonna have a few more weeks here and there, I don't know how, you know, I might be able to do some, I'm not just being able to get them all done, what I'm trying to do before July 1st. Cause come July 1st, I got, you know, wait, I even got up to that yet, the list of streets we kinda wanna do with the extra money, plus, you know, drainage work and all the stuff we kinda gotta do. It's only a limited time to do it, because once it gets into fall, and then you're, you know, preparing for winter and everything like that, so. And rain, weather and everything else, so it's kinda, so that was my thoughts on it. I mean, it's up to you guys, it is what it is, and I gotta work around what your decision is, so I just wanna throw you that. I know you think my money's depleted, which it is, as far as the, you know, my, road material budget line item.
Oh,
But I
yeah,
do have the
yeah.
money in chapter 90 to do them streets. That's what my plan was, but again, I don't know, if I don't get all streets done, I'll get 2 done, you know what I mean? It is what it is, and you gotta work with what you gotta work with, so.
Well, my situation, which is different from the previous one, is there's a union agreement.
Yep.
that gives the employees, it's spelled out, right there.
Yep.
And in that union agreement, there's no rollovers.
Yep.
So that's a big part of my decision with this
Yep.
vote.
If it wouldn't have happened, you know as well as I do, the COVID thing and that 1 week on and off, that killed us for work getting done.
Well,
It was, you know, again, it's the work gonna get done, it's.
Right, and I understand the union employees also benefited from that
Yeah.
too. And we know the situation that was involved and the work agreement that we had, that we made as an MOU, I believe, or MOA, with the union.
Yep.
So for me now to just arbitrarily say, well, we have a union agreement and I'm gonna change it. That's a big hurdle for me. You know, the employees all know, they're all union, they come to an agreement. So I don't know if has any bearing on Mr. Warner's vote concerning this, but I know there's things to be done. But come July 1st, if all these 5 employees decide they're taking another week off in the first 2 weeks, well, now we're busy, we got the money, we got projects to do, because I can't control when they take their vacation.
I kinda do.
Well,
And actually, these guys they're really good with me, and, you know, I work with my guys also, and they've been awesome. If I need them, I had guys come in on vacation, and they've been out, and I needed somebody for a water break, they'll come in and help me, so I just agree with you that way. If I need the guys, they ain't gonna bail, you know, and say, oh, I'm taking my week, unless it was a planned trip, they were going to,
Right,
you know, Cancun or something, and then that's a different story, then I'm not gonna call them, but a normal vacation, my guys, they don't leave me hanging. I'll let you know that, too. They're a great bunch, and every, you know, snowstorm every year, and guys answer the phone, and trust me, they're really good as far as that goes, answering the phone. And
Never a doubt, never a
All
doubt.
right.
I don't
Just
have
wanted to
no
let you know
complaints-
that as well,
No
so.
complaints from the DPW.
All right.
It's still the union thing. That's what I got.
So again, it's your choice,
You know,
it is what it
so-
is, and you guys can choose what you wanna choose, and I'll work with what you guys decide.
You
It
know,
doesn't matter, it's,
You get, 6 weeks left, and then the holidays right after that. 4th of July is like almost rolls right into it.
yeah.
So, I guess I have nothing more to say on this, you know. I mean, if Mr. Warner wants to discuss
Mr.
or.
Chairman, I really was hoping that we'd be in lockstep as your first meeting as chairman, but I have to say, you know, from a standpoint of, if this, I don't think, I'm hearing what Mr. Menard says, I understand some of the challenges that they've been under. This isn't this isn't like a deal breaker for me, to allow them to extend it. I mean, even with the fiscal year starting, an employee is entitled to take vacation anyway, right? So the clock starts again. I don't see an issue with it, and if it helps Dan get things moving, and kind of I've got faith in him and the ability to manage the team to make sure that the work gets done. It doesn't cost the town money, you know, and so I'd be inclined to support it. I don't know, a request is being made of the board, just to keep things moving in the right direction and keep the troops happy and keep Dan happy. That would be my position.
Well, Mr. Warner, we're together for another year, so I don't know if we're always gonna be in lockstep with every decision that comes across our table. And I respect you for your comments and going that way. But at this point, we don't have a third selectman here who could be the tiebreaker in this issue. So I don't know if this needs to be continued on to the next meeting
Yeah.
before a decision can be made and what time is gonna be gone for the employees to have to take their vacation.
Yeah,
But
we'll
this-
have time to figure that out, right?
Right, but the situation has arisen tonight that we gotta continue this one to the next meeting.
Can I just make a comment?
Yes.
I'm sorry. I'll stand up. So out of the 5 guys, 3 of the guys that are asking are my water and sewer guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they help Dan with paving, but these are water, sewer, EPA, DEP requirements. And we have a lot due before June 30th. If I lose our water foreman, he has a lot of time he has to take. He'll take it all except for 5 days. I'm requesting that I kind of need him to get some stuff done. I mean, last year you guys let them carry over the 5 days. So I think they just thought they'd be able to do it again this year. We can tell them that if you approve it, that this will be the last year they cannot do this again unless we write into a contract.
Well, the contract's over.
I know their contracts.
Right, so I can,
Yeah. That's just my thought. You gotta remember 3 of these guys are water sewer guys. And we also have a personnel issue where I think we're gonna lose 2 guys for a week due to a death in the family coming up soon too. So we have that issue coming up. Just to let you know, all those things that are going on at the DPW.
Mhm.
And also I will be out for 2 weeks.
Mhm.
I'm using my time. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome, Kathy, anytime. Always got my ears open. So,
Need a motion to table?
second that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Till next meeting. Can this be something that's brought up at executive session, if we have or do we have to call a regular meeting?
We'd have to post it for meeting to talk about it.
Hey, all right, situation is the way the situation is tonight, so.
Well, you can always have a meeting on during
Yeah,
the
we
day.
can
Right,
post
we
it
could
on
have a
the
Zoom meeting,
post.
right?
Yeah, we can, yeah.
Move this along and get some understanding between,
Yeah, absolutely.
come to a vote. I'm
Yeah.
okay for a vote. I'm not saying that, it's just,
Yep.
Mhm.
It would
we're
just have to be
one-on-one
on a-
tonight.
On a posted agenda, yep.
Yep,
Okay,
we can do that.
and we can do that, and we can speed up the process. Would that be acceptable to you, Mr. Warner?
Absolutely, sure.
Very good, thank you. Okay, the next, on the agenda, we have golf. And the golf course is asking for a 3 employees, 2 part-time positions, and 1 starter position. Part-time position, I believe, are defined as bag boys.
Yes.
So they would be the people who get the golf carts, bring them up to the clubhouse, move them around, get them ready for leagues and that sort of thing.
Yep.
They're level 1, or is that
Yep,
correct?
grade 1, yep.
Grade 1. In the starter position, guy who gets everybody off the tee boxes and make sure everybody paid. He's grade 1 also, or grade 2?
Grade 2.
Grade 2.
And these are refilling positions that had been empty, they're not new positions, or newly created positions. For the year.
All right, well, very good. Mr. Warner, any comments?
No, make a motion to approve.
And I'll second that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved to have 3 people
Great.
on the golf course. Okay, next we have Mr. Menard. He'll tell us about a purchase of a roller.
Yep, you guys got the quotes, right, that I have from Ambrose? You give me the ones I got some other ones, so you get them all.
Yep. I believe, okay, just give me 1 second. That one. There may be a. Yes, okay, very good. Excellent. This is for the sweeper.
Nope, this is for the roller.
Oh.
The roller. The sweeper's on here too as well. You wanna go with the sweeper first? And
Oh, no.
All right.
The,
I have kinda 2 things for sweeper and roller.
okay, I got DPW down here.
There we go.
Okay. Very good. Very good. Okay, that's why the numbers threw me a little bit, because I had heard the 54,000 for a roller already.
Yeah.
I'm familiar with that number.
Yeah, that was for the C 1400, which is the bigger piece of equipment. I got a bunch of, there's the 1300 and the 1200 plus smaller, and all of them, the quotes, you can see had the weight limit on them and the size of the drum, which, I went, the biggest one that we can tow on our trailer now, and, don't have to buy another trailer and everything. So that would be, it's a 54-inch drum, with a 50 horsepower engine. I got other quotes as well. I don't think you've seen them. This is actually the same size machine. I checked with Volvo. The only one I didn't get back was Caterpillar. They still haven't returned my thing yet, but I got Volvo, which was $133,000 for the same 54
Machine.
drum, 9,600. I got a quote from John Deere, which they deal with ham rollers, which
Oh,
is
yeah.
again same thing. You know, their one was a 2019, so it was a used one with 50 hours on it because I figured, oh, maybe that's good too. And they were 60,000, so they were actually higher than this brand new one.
Okay.
So we do got one little kickback to it, but it didn't bother me. So this roller supposedly was for breast awareness, and then the roller is pink. So
There you go.
I said I'm all okay with that, but it's going to do the same job. So
No one will steal it.
so that's the only thing with it. But again, I'm all for it, and I don't know if the proceeds, that money from that machine was going to that or whatever, but that's what the guy told me from the dealer. So, and that's the only one he had available in that size.
Okay, and this will work in
Correct.
tandem with your new paver?
Correct.
This will be
Yeah,
bigger
it's the
than the
idea,
ones?
it does a better job. Ours is too small, you know,
Mhm.
so it's only like a 24 inch instead of a 54 inch roller, you know, it's a drum.
Right,
So
right.
It's a big difference in size, and it's,
Mhm.
so you get a better, you know, it's more compaction too, so it's a heavier piece of equipment. Again, when we purchased this roller that we have now, was like when I first got here, and we were just using it for patching, because that's all we had, we were doing was just type of patching, small patches, and that's why we purchased the small one, so.
Yeah.
And this roller, we're looking just to go out of Chapter 9 funds, so there's no,
Right.
you know what I mean, nothing coming out of taxation or nothing.
Right.
I don't know, did you give her the numbers with the Chapter 9 and all that stuff? So, you know, even with this out of there, that 54,000 and the thing, and the sweeper that we're gonna get into, would still leave us $659,442 to do some street work, and
Good.
I'm also requesting that in a couple more minutes. We'll kind of see what, you know, streets you guys want to pick. I know we had a plan, a pavement management plan. Again, that was kind of, it's tough, and the streets get, you know, worse as this going on. I picked a few, and these are like
I know, I remember.
complaints we get at our office all the time.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, that's where we pick and choose, because there's a lot more complaints, and the roads are, you know, had it. These are smaller ones, well, except for Mattapoisett Road. Did you get that paper as well as the streets we picked?
No, but you can read it to me. Dave, do you have that paper in front of you, or you can,
Yeah, no, I got that, we're good.
One was Wild Rose, Cushman, Olivera, Thomas, and Mattapoisett Road. I didn't figure all the money, because I didn't know if you guys want to pick and choose which ones, and then I can give you the funding for each one, the length, width, and tell you what it's gonna cost to do each one. These are the ones I'm kind of throwing out to you. These are kind of the worst ones I see right now. I mean, there's a ton of them. This Bow Drive needs it, just but maybe we could do some patching on Bow Drive. We still haven't did the patching on Main Street that we have to do, so we have a ton of
Right.
paving to do this year. You know?
Right.
That's why I was requesting that, the guys, because we do got a lot of work to do, and, you know, I'd rather the guys take that in, you know, November or something like that, and, you know what I mean, or just switch the guys up. It just seems to work better like that, but
right.
you only got a limited time to get the work done, so.
Well, I'm sure the Board of Selectmen will, we'll get back to you about
All right,
that. We'll get
all
back
right.
to you about that. I mean,
So that's that for the streets. As far as the sweeper goes, you got the quote I gave you there, then when the prices to buy the pots that we need to fix it now.
And the labor?
No, the one with the pots, right? Is that the one from CN Wood?
Yeah, right.
Okay, so that one just parts, that one
Right.
just parts. So it's for an arm,
Mm-hmm.
right? You got, let me get my,
And we're gonna do the work at the shop?
yes.
Oh,
Well, that's we bought them outright, so now I'm kind of looking at buying a Potts one. This is a Potts sweeper.
Mhm.
It's a 1994, which we already checked with CN Wood. And the part we need on this machine, we need the right arm, sweeper arm.
okay.
And that sweeper arm alone was like $6,800 for that pot from CN Wood. So buying this whole Potts machine would take care of all the pots we need.
At $31,698.
Yes, that's the pots we need, is $31,000, just
Okay.
buying parts.
Okay.
So I could purchase an older one, but it has a brand spanking new arm, the one we need is on this machine. So that's kind of really why I wanted it, for that arm, but now we got we can get the rest of them pots as well off it. But them pots ain't brand new, but they're used, but they're pots we need, we can use on our sweeper to keep our
Oh,
sweeper
okay.
rolling.
So we're exploring buying,
A used one.
Okay.
So I didn't get this one, huh?
Yeah, they didn't get this one,
Okay.
I just got it.
I don't
Okay.
know, you wanna look at that, I got copies, but this is the sweeper we're looking at, and it's a used one.
okay,
So, it's $5,700,
and we can.
and it's got a brand spanking new arm, which if you looked at the prices, that's the quote from CN Wood that sells the
Right,
box.
right.
Just for that arm is over 6,800.
Right.
So, and then plus that sweeper has all the parts, other parts that we need, which is 31,000. I mean, they're all not brand new,
Uh-huh.
but the arm is, so that's why I'm like, wow, it's kind of no brainer, and any other part we need off the thing, it's in the yard, and we can grab parts and fix it in-house, and that'll keep prolonging that sweeper a few more years, hopefully.
Well, that's
what
a
I'm looking at.
significant saving of $25,000.
Yes. So it's
And
got.
I know, I understand it's a short-term fix, I mean, it's
Yep.
not a, it's not a brand-new machine, it's gonna last 25, 30, 40 years,
Yep,
that sort of thing, but I remember the price that was put forth was around 230,000 for a new one.
correct.
So we're really spending 230, 20%? Oh, no, not even that, actually. We're spending just a small. I'm okay with it. Mr. Warner, any comments, or,
I concur, Mr. Chairman.
And again, so I'm looking to get both of them out of the Chapter 90 fund, so again, it wouldn't be coming out of taxation, no budgets or nothing like that. So that's the other
Right.
reason too, so, and even with that coming out of there, we'd still be left with 659,000.
right, that's gonna leave us 25,000 more in the Chapter 90 fund.
Right,
Correct,
Right,
yeah.
to use for paving roads, or for
Yeah.
use road material, or whatever the. All right, do I have a motion?
Can I just ask one question?
Yes.
I don't know if you guys already said it, but for the roller, the
Yes.
vendors, state bid, like procurement stuff, are we all
Correct.
set with that?
Yeah, every vendor that I tried, because it's John Deere, the other one's CM Wood, which is a Volvo dealer.
Yep.
Everyone, they are dealers and they are on the state bid list.
Okay, that's
Yep.
perfect.
well, we actually did
So-
go out and get bids for the
Oh.
roller anyway, we did
Yeah.
not.
Awesome, thank you guys, just
So-
making sure.
Yep.
I was waiting for one more to come back, but when I see 133 versus 54,
Yeah.
and
I
you
know.
know what, the guy, the 54,000, believe it or not, told me, because everything's going crazy, the prices, and he said, because I got this one quote earlier, like a month
Yeah.
ago, and he said he's holding that price for me, because he
That's
said,
nice.
everything's going crazy,
Oh,
because the
yeah.
price of steel, everything's going up, so we wouldn't even got that for that price. So
Right.
I think we kind of like lucked into that one a little bit, but.
No, that's
You know.
perfect, I just wouldn't wanna hold you guys up after they approve it by saying like, oh, we gotta get quotes and stuff, so.
Yeah,
No,
that's
no, it's
good.
all, we'd have to go through the state and through Sean and,
Yeah.
Chapter 90, but yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's great. And Dan, I'm glad you
And again, I
researched,
think
they
that,
were
if
able to
you guys
find a
wanna
less
look-
expensive price,
Yep,
and it's great savings, that we can apply somewhere else.
and as far as the street goes, I know you don't got the full board, I kind of rather have you guys all look at it together, and I'm just throwing them out there now. Like I said, I got plenty of streets, I got schoolwork to do, I got all kinds of things that I could do paving with, but,
think
that's something for this future, so we can get the.
We'll come back and give a presentation for.
Yeah, if you guys want, and then any other streets that the board feels, that's just,
Right.
again, it's just from, the calls from us, and I go look at them, and it's the worst ones that I know of, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Right now, that are not, that are accepted streets,
Right, because we're gonna do one just particular area, and it might be on the scope or not. Get to
Yeah.
the bottom of the hill, after you go by the Tuxedo Place, across from the
Correct.
driving range there.
Yeah.
It's,
So that kinda got approved, but again, my funds didn't have enough, so that's definitely gonna get done this year, Main
Yeah.
Street and stuff, we're gonna try to do some, good patches over there as well.
Right, right.
Come July, we'll kinda be in there and start doing that stuff first,
Mhm.
But that's why I kinda wanted to get these streets out, the Chapter 90 streets over here first, and then we'll go on to them, and.
Will you be able to have the roller by then, you think, is this something that gets delivered?
Yeah, the roller actually is a pretty good, I think even the state's pretty fast on their turnarounds, and I think, within a week or two, we can get that
See
piece of
what
equipment,
happens.
yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you very much, I appreciate it.
All right, you guys have a good night.
Wait, we're
Okay,
not done.
thank you.
Oh, one more thing?
We're not done.
Oh, wait.
You're the recycling center.
Oh,
let me see,
yeah,
thanks,
yeah.
Santa.
Again, you don't have the whole board, so I don't know if you guys wanna go on that tonight, but, I think we talked about it in the past, so I don't know what the board's, suggestion would, or we just kinda work with what we got, like we're doing. It's getting real crazy, it's really busy over there, it's kinda tough for one guy to oversee the swap shop, check people's licenses, and right now, a lot of people bring in checks for stuff, and we're actually collecting checks for things, and it's just like really, really crazy for one person to oversee that whole operation on them 2 days. I don't know, do we hire a part-time, do you, give the guys that there an overtime day or something like that? At least on Saturday, alone is like Friday we might be able to work on it, but Saturday's definitely
Saturday is 8 to 2?
8 to 2:30. 8
Or
to
do we
2:30,
extend
yeah,
it
8 to
to
2:30. 8 to 2:30, yep.
8 to 2:30. Mr. Wona, any comments about hiring somebody?
No, I have no problem with it. I mean, look, we're providing a service, you're gonna pay for these things to do it properly, so I'm all for making the investment if that's what needs to be done.
Julie, do you think this would come out of
So-
like overtime, or would it be?
Is that something I could do for the 2 days then? For Friday and Saturday, because open Friday and Saturday, and you get sunny days on Fridays, it's pretty busy as well. I mean, it's still less than,
Well, what's
that's
that
less than
cost?
16 hours, right? There's no benefits involved, right?
If it's
part-time.
overtime, yeah.
No, I'm just saying if you did, he's saying hire somebody, so that would
Oh.
be just a part-time thing. And what's the difference if they're there 6 or,
Wait.
12 hours, right?
Well,
Is that what you were thinking of?
I didn't know we got was 6.5 hours on Saturday.
Yep.
My next question was going to be: is this coming out of overtime, or or is a person not going to work? Is it going to be like you just switch the schedule and?
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know
Yeah.
how it works. Or what we would do.
Because
How
right now,
would we,
you have a switch schedule, right? The
We
person
do
on
for one,
Saturday.
we have one
We have a
employee.
switch schedule for one guy.
I wouldn't advise
correct.
that for a second, we don't have enough staff
Yeah.
to
do
get
that.
Okay.
it done. We take someone else out. on a-
so this would be overtime then? Would it ask someone to,
Overtime.
hey, you
We'd
want
have
to
to
work
do that.
Saturday and
If we're gonna keep this group the same, correct, yes.
And what about Friday? If we're gonna go 2 people, is it gonna be somebody
Well, it wouldn't be
who's,
overtime on Friday unless you hired another part-time person, somebody just to do this.
Well, that's what we're saying, if we were knowing if part-time was the way to go, or
Overtime on Saturday.
overtime.
part-time would be hiring someone independently from outside now and
Correct.
having them
Maybe a retiree or something like that, or
for,
something.
there's something for the senior work program.
Well, I
Yeah,
mean,
that's what I was thinking, someone
Okay.
retired person or something. that could do
I
it.
know.
I've brought that
agreed.
forward before.
I mean, if you want, I can work with Kathy and we can get some numbers together for either scenario and present it to the board and let you decide.
Yeah,
That would be the only question I have, is the money cost, unless, Mr. Warren, unless you think that is it gonna be insignificant in the fact as compared to providing a service for the town? I mean, are we talking
Dave,
$200, $300 a week more? Okay,
Like
I'm
a
sorry.
rounding error, right, in the budget. It's a service we're providing. But we're gonna get I'm of the opinion.
Right, okay, I understand that. Yep.
And
Yep.
again, it's only like summer, once in the winter, it's not.
Right, we end the
busy.
times at like November 1st, I believe, or
Yeah,
somewhere
so,
around
it would
Thanksgiving.
be from like Memorial Day to, Labor Day or
Right.
something even is a big help, because that's the most busiest time for us,
Right.
I mean, when leaves come down, it gets busy over there too as well, but the swap shop, like I said, with that new addition to that, that's crazy too.
Oh, yeah.
People using that, which I think it was a success there.
Yep. Okay, well, Mr. Warner, I'm okay with going with adding position on Saturday and Friday for the summer, from Memorial Day to the end of the season, which would be before Thanksgiving. The numbers, you wanna work that out with the DPW, Julie?
Yeah,
and-
sure.
And
Yeah,
decide
we'll
whether,
present
how
it
you're gonna
at another
handle
time.
it, okay?
Yeah, we'll come back
Alright,
to the.
I think the amount of money, I'll agree with you, Mr. Warner, the amount of money weighed out to the service that we're providing for the people is well worth the money. So do I have a motion to,
So moved.
I'll second that. All in favor?
Right.
Aye.
Now I'm done?
Very good.
You guys, if you don't mind just staying, because I am gonna talk about something, because you've
Okay.
been involved with that.
And Mr. Chairman.
All right.
Yes, Mr. Warner.
But while we're on this stuff, so earlier today, we just, appointed a couple young men to work at the golf course, and now we're looking at, this job here, the DPW for the summer. Obviously, we're through our budget now, but maybe next year, Julie, put a reminder I think we might wanna look at an overall summer job program for high school age kids. You know, whether it's park and rec, you know, I just feel like if there's a way we can reinvest in the community, but also, you know, taxpayers and some of the youth in our town, give them an opportunity to earn some money. It just seems like a lot of the jobs that kids used to get are gone, you know, paper routes and, you know, so many opportunities to earn money have been gone by the wayside, the way the economy is these days. And, you know, if we look at it from Jim's department, DPW, park department, golf course, you know, whatever, come up with a game plan, we go to town meeting and look at it as an annual appropriation, to put some kids to work. I think it would be worth doing for the town.
Point
Just
well,
a proposal to think about for next year.
very good, Mr. Warner, point well taken.
Yeah, I agree, and I will say Jim has done a lot of work with, getting some kids, you know, high school age kids to help him in the summer, with the maintenance of the properties. And he's had really great success with the kids that he's gotten, so, I love that idea of expanding it and having it be kind of like a one-line item that gets voted, that we can use the kids for all different types of things, so we'll definitely work on that.
All right, very good. Next up on the agenda is the town administrator's report.
I'm gonna go to number 2 because I have the DPW here, but they let us know earlier, in the week last week, that they were awarded the 2021 Water System Award, I guess is what it's called. It's Mass DEP's Drinking Water Program is excited to extend its congratulations to the Acushnet Water Department for its outstanding performance in 2020. Your system achieved one of the top compliance scores in the consecutive system category of the 2021 Public Water System Awards Program. Mass DEP realizes it's no easy task to keep up with the ever-evolving federal and state drinking water regulations. Your compliance efforts have not gone unnoticed. And it continues on, but while they're here, I just want to say congratulations to you guys again.
Congratulations.
I know you got it last year, and I think you said that you've never received it 2 years in a row, so just goes to show what a great group of workers we have in the DPW, and we're really proud of what you guys have done. So, thank you.
Yes, congratulations, yes.
Thank you.
Good.
Appreciate it.
Let's see.
Now you can go.
There you go.
I don't hold you up, but
You don't have an award, so.
we don't have a trophy for you.
You get the recognition. Thank you very much, Dan and Kathy.
And then the other thing that I wanted to mention, here, let me just go to my notes. I received a memo from our police chief, Chris Richmond. He has an employee who has been a longtime employee of the town who is retiring. Many of you probably will recognize the name. It's our dispatcher, Larry St. Jean. And I'm just going to read this if you don't mind, because he wrote some really nice stuff. Chief wrote, "Good afternoon, Ms. Hebert. I'm writing to formally advise you and the Board of Selectmen that part-time dispatcher Larry St. Jean has decided to scale back his work obligations and resign/retire from the Acushnet Police Department effective April 30th, 2021. Larry has been a very valuable member of the department for the last 12+ years. His calm demeanor, answering emergency calls, and dispatching necessary services, coupled with his flexible work schedule over the years, have been a tremendous asset to the people of Acushnet. While working 12 years in public safety is certainly impressive, it is even more so when you consider the following. Larry joined the Acushnet Police Department in 2008 after retiring as a sergeant following a 34-year career with the New Bedford Police Department. Prior to joining the New Bedford Police Department, Larry actually started out as a call firefighter and police officer for the town of Acushnet. To put it in further perspective, Larry has been serving the public since before the vast majority of the Acushnet Police Department were even born. On behalf of the entire department, I sincerely thank Larry for his efforts and wish him all the best going forward." And I did want to read that because you know, the chief had said Larry was too humble to come here. Like he was just a very humble person who wouldn't want to come here and have this big discussion about him and his achievements, but we know it's important to recognize the service of our employees, and we did want to wish him all the best in his retirement if he's officially leaving now after this long. So.
Well, that was a very nice letter. Thanks for reading it, Julie.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And I have to say to Mr. St. Jean, thank you for your years of service. not only with the Bedford Police Department, but with the Acushnet Police Department.
That's all I have.
Okay, well, thank you very much. I'll try to get through this because I have a scratchy throat right now. Next on the agenda, and the last, is executive session. And I'd like to move to executive session under General Law 30A, Section 21A3, to conduct strategy and the preparation for negotiations with non-union personnel fire chief and non-union personnel conservation agent, to conduct contract negotiations with non-union personnel if an open meeting will have a detrimental effect on the bargaining position of the public body, as the chair so declares, and the board will not return to public session. Roll call vote, Mr. Warner?
Yes.
And I'm a yes, and we're gonna go to executive session and not return. Have a good evening.